What's going on, Sports Talk Indy? Another late night video because we have some more stuff going down for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I have heard it. I understand the confusion. A lot of the comments yesterday said that these were not free agent signings, that these were just re-signing their own players. And while I understand that Michael Pittman and Zaire Franklin were contract extensions, the rest of the signings that they've made have technically been free agent signings. Grover Stewart was an unrestricted free agent. Rigoberto Sanchez was an unrestricted free agent. Tyquan Lewis was an unrestricted free agent, and some others that we'll get to here in just a second. So I've heard it, but believe me, I promise these are unrestricted free agents that are signing, and the extensions were Michael Pittman and Zaire Franklin. So the first one we're going to get to was the first one that came across today. The Colts signed Rigoberto Sanchez, punter, to a 2-year deal. This is $7.5 million was, I believe, the number that was thrown there. This is a great deal. Can't really beat it. Last year, Sanchez averaged a career high in both yards per punt with 48.3 and net yards per punt 42.8. And he had an outstanding season with directional punting, landing 21 punts inside the 20-yard line without a single touchback. That's incredible. That is unbelievable. The Colts have been a powerhouse for punters. I mean, we had Hunter Smith way back in the day. He was a legend as far as punters go. And then obviously we had Pat McAfee. And, we can't forget him. Even if we wanted to, we can't forget him. Pat McAfee has been dominant in the sports world, but he was even before that. He was an absolutely outstanding punter. And now we have Rigoberto Sanchez, who has taken over since Pat McAfee since he retired. And Rigoberto Sanchez has been amazing. Only 1 year out, and he had obviously that cancer diagnosis. And we're happy to have him back. So that's the first one. The first one is Rigoberto Sanchez has been re-signed to a 2-year deal. The next one was the one that I was very excited about. Kenny Moore got the bag. Kenny Moore got locked in to a 3-year, $30 million contract, which, again, this is a new signing. He was an unrestricted free agent. Any team could have signed him. And, in fact, there were 3 teams interested in signing him, and the Colts were ultimately the one to lock him down. This is a great deal. Kenny Moore came in with a career year last year, and this has been absolutely legendary. He got the highest, according to Adam Schefter, Colts are re-signing Kenny Moore to a 3-year, $30 million deal that makes him the highest paid nickelback in NFL history. The deal was negotiated and confirmed by Traylon Smith of Athletes First. This is a great deal for Kenny Moore. I'm so happy to see him stay with the Colts. He has been a pillar. Zaire Franklin was quoted as saying, "We cannot do this without him." And so I think this is a great deal. I think you're, again, keeping your core. I understand the frustration, Colts fans. I understand that we really want to get that big name signing out of the way. But I think it's really important that we keep the guys who have continued to be there through this. And Kenny Moore, I mean, that game against the Panthers, that revenge game to Frank Reich, and, going number 1 overall pick Bryce Young, he had 2 pick sixes in that game. And they picked him off. Like, he has been a pillar and a captain of this team for several years, and I'm so happy to see him back with the Colts. I think that I think this is just a slam dunk win, but it's been heard, and the Colts have officially signed their first non-Colts free agent or contract extension. They have signed 5 Colts to contract extensions or new contracts, and they have finally locked in with their 6th on the end of day 2. Closing it out at 6:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Colts agreed to terms with free agent Roquan David. I don't understand this signing at all. You just locked Grover Stewart in to a massive deal of 3 years, $39 million. And then you have DeForest Buckner. And then you're running with another defensive tackle. I don't personally understand it. But I think what they're doing is they're adding depth. They reportedly, it's a base value of 2-year, $14 million, which isn't bad. But again, it's not the need. The need is clearly defensive back or even wide receiver. Go with one of those two. But I think defensive back is clearly the need. You let guys like Jeremy Chin off the board, Kevin Byard off the board, Darnell Savage is off the board. So what? I don't understand this one. I'm trusting Ballard and trusting that there's a reason for this. Maybe they know something about D-Buck that we don't know, or maybe they're looking to deal D-Buck. All of these things are possibilities, but ultimately they signed Grover Stewart to a massive 3-year deal, and then Roquan Davis they also signed to a 2-year, $14 million deal. And maybe this is just to add depth. Maybe their goal is to not have Grover Stewart and D-Buck out there every single down like they have been periodically. And maybe this is just to add some depth to that position. I don't understand, but I do like the signing. I like that they're getting aggressive and not overpaying. The big thing that Roquan Davis brings, Roquan Davis is a massive human being. This guy is 6'7" and 325 pounds with a 33 and 7/8 arm length, like inch arms. That's massive. There was a picture floating around of him next to the second tallest defensive tackle on the team, on the Dolphins, when he was there. And he's just a beast. I mean, the dude just towers over everyone else. It looks like the picture of Derrick Henry next to Mark Ingram. I mean, the dude's just massive. But in 2023, Davis recorded 28 tackles, 15 solo, 2 tackles for loss, 6 quarterback hits, and 0.5 sacks, according to the Pro Football Focus. He logged 24 total pressures and 13 run stops. So I think this is a big deal. I think that this will add a lot of depth. Again, don't fully understand why this is where we went first as far as our first non-Colt free agent signing. But, you know, it's something. It's definitely a step in the right direction. They're getting aggressive. And there's still plenty of guys out there. According to a tweet that just came across a couple minutes ago by Destin Adams, the Colts have spoken with free agent Justin Simmons. That would be a slam dunk. So I think that there are still guys to get out there. Obviously, guys like Nyheim Hines, who I was hoping to see come back. He got locked into the Browns. Zach Moss got locked into, I believe, I don't remember who Zach Moss went to, but ultimately he went to another team. So I think there's still depth to get behind these positions. And if that means that maybe they're going to more of a 4-3, maybe they're going to a front 5 instead of a front 4, and they're looking to add some more guys and run 3 defensive tackles. And so they need a guy like Roquan Davis to be in that middle area, surrounded, and maybe they're running more of a 6-2. So whatever their defensive scheme looks like, maybe they're looking at being more pass heavy or, pressure heavy and less pass heavy. You know, I think this is going to be a really good deal. I think this is going to be, it's going to add some depth, but it also shows that they're not going defensive tackle in the draft. I think that that's a very clear, now we see that they're going, either they're going to go defensive back or they're going to go wide receiver in the draft. Either way, I think that'd be really good. And I still would like them to make some more moves. The league year officially opens tomorrow. So all of this is just like pre-negotiations. There's even been a couple deals that have been backtracked that were just rumors and they had agreed it and then they were like, no, I'm just kidding. So that could all still happen. But as of tomorrow at noon, they can officially sign. This has just been the legal tampering period. So we'll see where the Colts continue to go as the league year starts and as things start to roll, and maybe look at that one big free agent signing. I believe, again, it's all up to how these contracts are structured. So we don't really know how much the Colts have yet until the details of the contracts are for sure, because a lot of this could be signing bonus, a lot of this could be this. And, you know, GMs have their way of working their magic. The salary cap's a lie. You got teams that are, you know, Patrick Mahomes just restructured his deal to free up $21 million extra for the Chiefs to have in cap space. So, and again, the Colts are still heavily linked to Ladarius Sneed from the Chiefs. And so, you know, you got all of that. There's still a lot of speculation going around as to where the Colts are going. But they did make another splash today, signing Kenny Moore, signing Rigoberto Sanchez, who are free agents, and also signing their first non-Colt free agent, which would be their sixth signing in 2 days, which is just a good deal for Ballard and company. So happy to see it, and I'm excited to see where the Colts keep going.